This video about what good golfers see is really about the relationship between the hand path, right, and the club head.
Path, yes. And this is what they see when they're setting up to the ball. Their hands are on the inside, the club head's on the outside. As they go back, hands in, club head out as they go back. And then as they're coming down, hands in, club head out on the follow through. So
Hands
that's
in, club head out.
correct. So this is the bad that we see all the time. The hands go out, club head goes in, they lift their arms and they come over the top, and then it's the other way. So then the club head is behind them and their hands are actually out in front of them.
Hands in, club out. Hands in, club out.
Yes.
When I'm looking down at this, the idea that the hands are going to go in on this stick by my foot,
Yes.
while the club head stays over the stick on the outside,
Correct.
that gives you such a perfect feel. It's hard to like mess that up conceptually. All right, guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about what good golfers see when they look down at the ball, which is what you should be seeing as well. And really the two main things that you can put into your swing to see those same things, hit the ball better. We're out here obviously with Mr. Jess Frank, Deer Creek Golf Club. And Jess, before we dive into what the heck we got going on here on the ground.
Correct.
This video about what good golfers see is really about the relationship between the hand path, right, and the club head.
Path, yes.
And so before we dive into this part,
Yep.
what do good golfers do and see in terms of the hand path and the club head?
So thank you, Eric. And this is what they see when they're setting up to the ball. Their hands are on the inside, the club head's on the outside. As they go back, hands in, club head out as they go back. And then as they're coming down, hands in, club head out on the follow through. So
Hands in, club head out.
correct.
That is such a unique little thing. Can you demonstrate that one or two times with just a little hip
Absolutely.
hop, and then we'll go in.
So
let's just say from there, like halfway back. So the hands are working in,
yes.
the club head stays out, and then
Correct.
even if we don't go back up to the top and we come through from there in the follow through, the hands arc back in and the club head stays outside. I don't know about you, Jess. You've been golfing a little bit longer than me. Okay?
Much older, yes.
But that was something that was never understood by me, maybe never explained to me. It certainly was not a concept that I was thinking, you know, or was aware of.
Yes.
And just a quick one, like what would be the bad, like, so if good is hands in, club out.
So this is the bad that we see all the time the hands go out, club head goes in, they lift their arms and they come over the top, and then it's the other way. So then the club head is behind them and their hands are actually out in front of them.
Yeah,
That is the bad move right there.
So like if we look at sort of as the handicap goes higher,
Yes.
there's probably a higher likelihood that they do hands out, club in, not only during the takeaway,
Correct.
which we know sets up a slew of issues,
Yep.
but if we even, let's skip the backswing just for a
Okay.
second. If we do just the takeaway,
Yep.
the hands, let's say the hands go out, club goes in, this is the
Yep.
bad. And then what you're saying is, heck, as we work through, we're seeing the same exact thing on the follow through.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All day long.
And this is like a flip,
Yes.
early release
So,
motion.
Yep. So when we see the videos all the time, hands back, club
Yeah.
head ahead. So this is adding loft and opening the face, slice, not fun golf.
And it's interesting, the hands in, club head outside the hands on the follow through too, I think is one too to kind of people have to think through.
Yes.
So conceptually, guys, part number one, when you're swinging the club, and we're going to show you how to practice in the visuals here, hands in, club out in the early half of the backswing, hands in, club out in the early half of the follow through.
Correct. Yeah.
Let's talk through the grid.
Yes.
What do we got going on?
Yes. So what we have here is we have a target line laid down. We have shafts that are angles to the shaft here, so it gives you an idea that we're playing side-on golf. Then we have these sticks on the outside that are angled for arcs for the club head, and then the inside stick is for the hand. So this is the hand path, This is the club head path, and it really gives you a visual when you're practicing to be able to follow hands in, club head out.
Yeah.
And it really gives you a great structure of slow motion. You can see that on the backswing, hands in, club head out. As I go to the top, as I come back down, I'm going to go the other way, hands in, club head out. And so that gives you hands in, club head out. And then the second item that we're going to talk about is that as you're doing this, hands in, club head out. And as you're coming down, hands in, club head out. Now you create the forward shaft lean that all the great players have. So that's completely opposite of what you showed that the high handicap does. And even mid handicap, sometimes down to low handicaps who are struggling with their game, they'll come take a lesson and we'll see that all day long. And they're wondering why they're losing distance and slicing the ball.
Yeah. And I know, like you mentioned, credit is where credit,
Yes.
we should give credit where credit's due.
Absolutely.
Andy Plummer, Stack and Tilt, Mike Bennett.
Yeah, 100%.
I know that's where I learned the grid from.
Yes,
right?
me too. As an authorized stack and tilt instructor, Andy Plummer lays this out in detail.
Yeah.
And it's awesome for learning golf.
And so we're going to give you the visual on the screen so you could see this, what it looks like when you're actually looking down at it.
Correct.
Let's flip flop spots, Jess. Let me hop in here and see some of this. So
absolutely.
if we take these little plane sticks out there, so these first sticks on the ground, right, these straight sticks represent like the ball target line.
Yeah, target line, correct.
So that's what that is.
Yep.
So these sticks that are angled in,
Correct.
if I'm looking down at it,
Yes.
and we had, let's say the ball was actually right on here,
Correct.
that's the club head is tracing that
Correct.
throughout the takeaway.
Yes, tracing the arc.
Tracing the arc. Now, what I really like, and this helps me even more, is the sticks by my feet. So like when you look down at this, guys, if you set this up, and even if we, let's remove some of these for a second, Jess. Let's get this one out. Let's get this one out. Let's get this front one out.
Out of there.
Just to kind of see, that, like let's say it was this simple, right? Let's even say we had these 4 down.
Correct.
When I'm looking down at this, the idea that the hands are going to go in on this stick by my foot,
Yes.
while the club head stays over the stick on the outside,
Correct.
that gives you such a perfect feel. It's hard to like mess that up conceptually.
Yeah, no, and I'll tell you what, you put a golfer on camera with a before shot of putting the hands out, club head in, and then switching it around where hands in, club head out. It's a life-changing lesson for sure.
Huge
so this
difference.
is huge. Yeah.
Like it affects, I think for both of us, it affects so many other pieces of the swing.
Yes, a lot of pieces for sure.
And what I really like about this, I'm just going to keep it hip high for now.
Yeah.
When I go back, so from my point of view, this stick that's down my toe line,
Yes.
my hands when I look down are inside of that.
Correct.
The club head's outside of here. And as I come through, my hands stay inside of that.
Yes.
Club head arcs, slightly inside of the ball.
Correct.
But then on my way through, the hands stay also inside of the toe line
Yes.
as the club stays outside.
Yes, absolutely.
And we've done a bunch of videos with Steve on this with the release pattern,
Yes.
but like if I were to look at this angle,
Yes.
where the club head's, to the right of my
Correct.
hands,
Yes.
there's my impact
Yeah,
position, right?
100%, man.
So let me clip a couple here, Jess,
Yes.
just to kind of get a little half swing ideas
Sure.
here. And then maybe we can do some again with some of the
Yes,
bads. But
absolutely.
so even if I just had these two to start with, hands in, club out, hands in, club out,
Yes.
hands in, club out, a little bit of a change of direction in transition,
Right.
but in the follow through, hands in, club out. We'll do like a count on this video of how many times we say hands in, club out. Okay, so a little half one more time, hands in, club out.
That is really solid, Eric. Great hit,
thanks,
man.
Jess.
Great hit.
Oh, yeah. So that's the other piece with this when you guys are practicing this and what good golfers see is everything's in an arc around themselves, right?
Yes, absolutely.
There is no
No straight lines.
there's no straight lines.
Yeah.
And there's no like when I first started playing, I for whatever reason was much more kind of thinking like I'm going to take it back, up this target line, back and up this target line,
Yeah.
versus the around.
Correct.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think this gives you a perfect visual, kind of regardless of where you're coming from, of like, okay, my hands are arcing around me the whole time.
Yes.
The club head's arcing around me the whole time. I'm not inside to out.
Correct.
I'm not outside to in.
Yep.
I'm in to in.
Right. It really gives you a roadmap here of where your hands and club head go, which really is important in learning golf and playing golf. And the great thing is obviously you can't lay these sticks out when you're playing, but you can keep them in your mind for sure.
Yeah, I can replace the same visual.
100%.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Hands inside, hands inside. And for me, go ahead and say it, Jess.
That's very solid, sir.
thank you.
That's a great golf shot.
For me, like I've had issues with both sides.
Yeah.
Right, like I've had issues during the takeaway. When I look at like my first couple swings,
Yeah.
when I got my first couple lessons, I was like 16. I was like,
Yeah.
it makes me sick.
Yeah.
But I would have hands out, club in.
Oh yeah.
I would have steep,
Yeah.
and then dude, I'd have
Oh yeah.
all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think kind of regardless of the golf, or at least building in the basic
Yes.
components, right?
These are the fundamentals right here. This is the building blocks of a good golf swing.
No matter who you are,
Correct.
hands in, club out. When
Yeah.
I'm seeing the hands staying in these lines.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a different visual. I'm not
yeah.
going down the target line,
Nope.
down the target line. I'll just do
Nope.
one more. Hands in, club out.
Very solid, sir.
Thank you.
And also, when you're doing this too, like what you always do because you're a very good player, but you're hitting ball then turf all day long because your handle's forward and you're not flipping, you're not hitting behind it.
Yeah, and one of the
So-
pieces I kind of took out on us, but
Yeah.
obviously what good golfers do, what they see, they do the hands in, club out. The second point we were making
Yes.
was that impact.
The shaft lean.
They have the
yeah,
shaft.
which is created by the hands in, club head out, not you pushing the handle forward like that. It's just
Yeah.
a natural motion of doing the correct grid motion.
That could be a teaser for you watching this video right after that.
All right, brother.
Perfect.
Thanks, Eric.